Good afternoon, Yonkers. This is Freddie Vasquez with Basement Politics Unfiltered. A Saturday afternoon discussion. Let's talk about Latinos De Yonkers. Good afternoon, Yonkers. I am Freddie Vasquez, coming on live with a Saturday afternoon special. Let's have a discussion about Latinos De Yonkers. The Hispanic population here in the city of Yonkers is going to play a major role in the next mayoral race. That's right, folks. How important of a role that is? Well, let's discuss. Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Current temperature is 64 degrees. High of 65 is expected. A low of 51 degrees today. I was out there earlier taking a drive. I don't know if you saw some of those videos live. I wanted to talk about the state of Yonkers, and then I started to think about the mayor's race and the importance of the Latino vote. I was actually sent something earlier today by someone, which is also what got me thinking about it. I will speak about it. It's the Westchester Hispanics in Law Enforcement Gala. Someone sent me the flyer, and I want to talk about that as well. But I wanted to get into statistics first, just to give you some clarity and a little bit of background on Yonkers here and how the city is growing. So currently, and this is according to the U.S. Census, and this is as of 2020, actually. This is the most current I can find. U.S. Census, 211,589 people are living here in the city of Yonkers as of April 1st, 2020. Again, that's 211,589 is the total population. And according to the U.S. Census, out of that is there's 89,065 Hispanics living in the city of Yonkers. And I would imagine that that's increased a bit. That's as of 2020, April. And I would imagine the population size in 2010, just to give you a little reference, back in 2010 in Yonkers was 195,976. That's as of April 1st of 2010, which very interestingly enough, I covered the 1988 desegregation case. And back then the population was about the same, 195,000. So has had a recent jump, obviously, because of the developments and stuff, about 15, almost 16,000 more people. I want to talk about the education here in the city of Yonkers among the population. And this is, again, from the U.S. Census. 82.9% of the people aged 25 or older have a high school diploma here in the city of Yonkers. And this is all as of 2020, again, the most current. 34.5% of the people aged 25 or older have a bachelor's or higher level degree. And the labor force, 63.9% of people over the age of 16 are in the civilian labor force. And that, again, as of 2020, that could have gone up, again. So I want to give you a little bit of reference also in terms of percentage. Total population, again, 211,569. Hispanics population total, 89,000. I'm going to add a little more because I'm sure it's grown, 500. That's about 42.3% of the population here in the city of Yonkers. 42.3%. That's nearing 50%. That's nearing half the population of the city of Yonkers is Hispanic. Let me get some lighting. That's big. That's huge. If you look at the last citywide race, the race for Yonkers City Council president, about 20,000 people total came out to vote. That's a citywide race. So let's say if half of that 89,000 Hispanic come out to vote, let's say the other half don't come out for whatever one reason or another, that's huge. That's huge. Huge. So I want to give a bit history of the Hispanic population here in the city of Yonkers. Let's talk about some history. There you go. La bandera puertorriqueña. Qué bonito la bandera. Pasteles. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that. A Puerto Rican dish made of a mixture of plantains and spiced pork wrapped in banana leaves. My grandmother would make them a lot and sell them in the community over there in Buena Vista. They're very popular. very popular. I used to like them, and then I no longer like them. I don't know. It's very weird. Um, it appears from census records that Cubans were the first Latino group to arrive in sizable numbers. By the time of the 1930 census, there were 116 Cubans residing in Yonkers. They eventually established La Joya, a Cuban community center. 101 immigrants from Central and South America were also listed in 1930, along with 60 other America residents who were most likely from Puerto Rico. Large groups of Puerto Ricans first began to arrive during the 1950s when several families from the island made their home in the city. Early family names of Puerto Rican residents included Gonzalez, Rio, Santiago, Mejia, and Montez, which is my grandmother's on my dad's side. Last name, who settled in the area and then sent for other relatives to join them. Some of them made their way to the area through migrant work in the fields of upstate New York, and some came directly to Yonkers to work in the carpet shops, a row of factories that existed on Sawmill River Road and Neperhan Avenue. Others lived in New York City and commuted to work in Yonkers, but may eventually found apartments in southwest part of the city in order to be closer to their employment. And that is true. I remember in the 90s, early 90s, we had a large wave of Puerto Ricans and even Dominicans coming from the Bronx and Manhattan. Cubans and Puerto Ricans remained the largest group of Yonkers throughout the 1960s, but immigrations from countries such as Colombia, Ecuador, Costa Rica, and the Dominican Republic also began to increase during the turbulent decades. Colombians began to arrive in Yonkers in the late 50s. A small group of them met each other while shopping at La Embajada, a local grocery store that carried Colombian food and newspapers. They began to the Colombian Community Center in 1978 with 33 founding members. Although some of the older members have since retired to Florida, it seems like a lot of people retired to Florida, and a lot of people here in Yonkers, a lot of people who work for the city and officials seem to have homes in Florida. Be careful, that place will not be there much longer. Anyway, the group continues to function with social activities, voter registration drives, which is very important, and I want to discuss that today. Colombian Independence Day declarations on July 20th, and an indoor soccer team. A wave of immigration from the Dominican Republic, Dominicanos, this is my people, occurred after the 1961 assassination of the dictator Rafael Leonidas Trijoles and the civil war in the years that followed. Another surge in immigration from the island occurred in the late 1980s and the early 1990s, and I remember that, as depressed sugar prices caused Dominicans to come to the United States for jobs. Many of these recent immigrants arrived illegally, risking their lives to travel in small boats to Puerto Rico, from where they were able to enter the United States. Maria Garcia, a teacher, organized the Yonkers Dominican American Cultural Club in the 1980s. The organization sponsored a ceremony to raise the Dominican flag over the Yonkers City Hall on February 27th each year and celebrated Dominican Mother's Day luncheon on the last Sunday in May. As the number of Latinos in Yonkers began to increase in the late 1960s, it became clear that newcomers needed help with language, education, and access to health services. Many Latinos encountered discrimination or misunderstandings in some form, especially in housing and employment. There were various landlord-tenant complaints and reports of some Spanish families being put out in the street. Father Antonio Sagrista of St. Peter's Church, which I used to go to as a kid, was instrumental in bringing community representatives together to found the Spanish Community Progress Foundation. Originally operating out of a small Riverdale Avenue storefront in the late 1960s, the group was incorporated in 1970 and has since become a vital link to direct social service aid for the Latino community. SCPF provides valuable community services in terms of referrals, housing, employment, welfare, translation services, help with immigration, courts, school system, etc. They also sponsor a Hispanic senior citizens program and reach out to serve Hispanic youngsters through educational, tutoring, and youth program. I want to move on really quick because I don't want to be on to it. The fastest growing Latino group in recent years has been the Mexicans in the 1970s. Only 63 people of Mexican ancestry live in Yonkers. 20 years later, that number has risen to 2,231. And yes, Mexican community is growing very significantly. And if you go down to Main Street, you see a lot of the Mexican businesses. Shout out to Alfonso, the owner of Dos Marias, who has established himself and his family very well here in the city, establishing restaurants and other businesses. So, much respect to that family, and keep doing your thing. But let's talk about who are the important Hispanics here in the city of Yonkers, right? Who are the social elites? The Hispanic vote will be extremely important to this coming race. for mayor. It is so important that the Hispanic community come out and vote. It's extremely important. We have to vote. And I'm going to continue to talk about this and push this, particularly among the Hispanics, but all of us, black, white, Hispanic, green, purple, whatever, have to come out and vote. Hispanics, we have a unique opportunity and power that concerns certain people, which is why you will see, right, a lot of pandering towards the Hispanic community. You're going to see that a lot, right? This is what I want to specifically talk about. We must be mindful of individuals within our community who are strictly there to benefit themselves. The powers that be know who these individuals are and will give them awards, roles, and appointments and other special considerations in order to get them to sway the Hispanic to vote in certain directions. Hispanics of Yonkers, we must vote only in the best interest of the Hispanic community. Right. And this is not to say that we don't care about anybody else. Not what I mean. But I mean, we must focus on what benefits us as a whole. Right. As a whole. And we must watch out for certain sellouts who want us to vote in other ways and for other reasons. They are the only ones that benefit. Think about it. Think about this. They are the ones that benefit. So don't be fooled by the crumbs that they give us. Right. Because we are here to come for the pie. Right. Hispanics, we are here for the pie. So I want to show recently a mayoral appointment of a gentleman by the name of Hector Lopez. I'm sorry, I'm saying to the the Yonkers Joint School Construction Board. That you see appointed by the mayor, swearing in. You see the superintendent, Dr. Edwin Quesada there. And who is Hector Lopez? Who is Hector Lopez? Hector Lopez is the vice president of Yonkers Hispanic Federation Chamber of Commerce, besides being a law enforcement officer. He is also, I believe, the president of Westchester Hispanics and Law Enforcement, right? Recently, president of Hispanic and Law Enforcement, Hector Lopez, was named to the Yonkers Joint Schools Construction Board. The board is a legal entity which is charged with the financing and building of schools, which they're, recently they're building a school over there on McLean Avenue. There's also going to be a school built that will be the film arts program that will be a collaboration between Lionsgate and the Yonkers Public Schools. So how does this school board construction joint thing work, right? 2 members are selected by city council, 1 Republican, 1 Democrat. The rest are appointed by the mayor. So again, who is Hector Lopez? He is the vice president of Yonkers Hispanic Federation Chamber of Commerce, also president of Westchester Hispanics and Law Enforcement. And he's also the brother of former director of constituent services, Lorraine Lopez, right? And I was recently sent this flyer, which is what I want to show you, by an individual. This is, I guess, Lorraine Lopez posted this. Westchester Hispanic and Law Enforcement, they're having a gala. So if you're interested in attending, check that out. And guess what? They're going to be honoring Lorraine Lopez. That's right. He's going to be honoring his sister, former director of constituent services, right? So I was recently sent this flyer. Lorraine Lopez being honored is not surprising. But again, here's another example of the recycling of individuals, regardless of their past actions. Law enforcement officers honoring someone charged and convicted with stealing from the city money and donations bound for the homeless and for less fortunate kids whose parents were making over $100,000 while working for the mayor's office. So why do we have division within our community? Because of individuals that are happy with their crumbs who work to assure that we vote the same way each and every time. That's right. And according to sources, Ms. Lopez is willing to work for whoever will pay her. She currently does a lot for Nader Sayage, John Rubo, who she calls up anytime, and he will answer, because I seen her do it right in front of me when she attacked me at the Tasha Diaz event over there in Pelham, right? Because of remarks I had made, I guess, about John Rubo. Called her right up. Hey, Rubo. And I got on the phone with him. That's when he first promised to come on my show, and he didn't. I'm sure she is connected to Zahi Jarris because he was another individual that was there that day at the Tasha Diaz event, right? Flip-flopping among our prominent Hispanic members, flip-flopping among our prominent Hispanic members of our community isn't nothing new, right? We have prominent members of the Hispanic community who flip-flop, go from Republican to Democrats, because it's all about what best, benefits their interest. And we have another individual that's very prominent, social elitist, Carmen Goldberg Velasquez, the self-proclaimed gatekeeper of the Hispanic community. That's right. That's right. She is the gatekeeper of the Hispanic community, right? Who is Carmen Goldberg Velasquez? Well, she's a former Republican. Here she ran for a couple positions in office, not very successful. She is also the chairperson of the Hispanic Advisory Board, and that may not be recent because they don't usually update these things, but that could be, still the case. She's also on the board here of the Yonkers Hispanic Cultural Foundation. Buenvenidos, right? And I'm looking forward to the parade this year. I believe they're going to have it. It's June 22nd, I believe. Oh, no, June 5th. Make sure you attend that. The Yonkers Hispanic Cultural Foundation is pleased to announce the next annual Puerto Rican Parade and Festival. Oh, it's Puerto Rican Parade now? I know there was some issues with how they were going to name it. We didn't want to divide the Hispanic community, right? Because they're saying, well, if it's only Puerto Ricans and we have Mexicans, we have Ecuadorians, we all Hispanic, right? And we all, for the most part, have similar plights. And we need to stick together because this is how we leverage our power, Latinos and Hispanics here in the city of Yonkers. Are you ready to have some real power without having to ride coattails or do the bidding of individuals that have zero interest in our community and seeing us flourish? That's right. So when you are ready to flourish, then you need to start to listen to what Freddie Vasquez is telling you, because I'm here for the Latino community and for what best interests us as a whole, but also what best interests Yonkers as a whole. Okay. And I don't like the self-proclaimed gatekeeper of the Hispanic community comment. I'm not with that. Okay. Because you did absolutely nothing to help me. You knew of my situation. You are heading the Yonkers Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, yet not one person from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce reached out to Freddie Vasquez, a Latino Hispanic business owner, and attempt to try and help me and see how they can. So for that, I know you're full of crap, right? Right? That's right. So Carmen Goldberg wanted to be a Republican, then wanted to be a Republican. She currently heads the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and is a member of the Hispanic Advisory Board, along with Grace Barani, who is a realtor and president of Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I believe she's the president. These are some of the Latino elite. They primarily care about themselves and having brunch, as Zoop does. Interesting connection, actually, between Carmen Goldberg, James Kavanaugh, and Wilson Kimball, and the Puerto Rican Day Parade Foundation. When I read the report by the state IG from the mess that James Kavanaugh and Wilson Kimball was involved in back when they were investigated for misappropriation of a lot of money, one of the things that the Inspector General, found strange and unusual was a donation that was made by the Battery Park organization that James Kavanaugh was heading to the Yonkers Puerto Rican Day Parade Foundation. What was that about? They found it unusual because it had nothing to do with Battery Park, and the only reason they would make any donations was supposed to be for anything that had interest in Battery Park in Manhattan. Well, Yonkers is all the way north, and the Puerto Rican Day Parade had zero to do with Battery Park. So what was that money about? Where did that money go? And I hear there were other money issues with the Yonkers Puerto Rican Day Parade organization. Is that why it kind of went to crap after a while? I don't know. I have no clue, right? But we're going to start to expose these individuals, folks, because it's a must. It's imperative. Otherwise, we will continue to have these divisions among our community. We'll never truly prosper. Only certain individuals will, right? Because they are doing the bidding. And as long as they do what they are told, they will be allowed to succeed. That is why certain people feel like they are the gatekeepers. Okay. And it's time to expose the individuals who are not on our side. Because in order to have unity among the Latino community, we must identify those who are causing division. And Freddie Vasquez is here for that. Okay. I'm here to better our people as a whole. You can say whatever you want about me. You can spread whatever rumors you choose to. That's fine. But actions speak louder than words. And you will see in the coming months, in the coming years, what Freddie Vasquez is about. I'm not going anywhere. So it's best to make partnerships, collaborations, rather than try and blacklist me. That's not going to work. There are too many people that support me, that are behind me, and that are ready to see the change that I speak of. And if you are one of them, then support. And it's time to expose. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is your quick Saturday afternoon podcast. I just wanted to identify this and talk about it. Our vote is so important. And they're going to be pandering to the Hispanic community because they know how large of a community we are. So we must think about this power that we yield and how are we going to vote? Who are we going to choose? Not just for the mayor, but for council. What have they been doing for the Hispanic community? Have the changes that have been occurring been in the best interest of the Hispanic community? Have they been for the Hispanic community? And we look at our city council. Does it represent the Hispanic community? I mean, we're at 42.3%, and we have one Hispanic, Latina, Corazon, because Tasha Diaz is not Hispanic. She's a Freeman. You have 3 African American women, but African Americans represent 16% of the Yonkers population. But their voices are strong, and that's why they get that much representation. Much power to the Black residents of the city of Yonkers, because we support you too. I support you too. We must come together, Hispanics and the Blacks particularly, but all of us who want to see change, white as well, because the community is changing. It's changing. And a lot of us are feeling the effects, regardless of color. And if we talk about, the recent meeting and where they want to take away the last parkland, Black community there in Northwest Yonkers, JFK Marina is used primarily by the Black community there, in the city of Yonkers. Go there for barbecues. I know I go there a lot with friends, barbecues, events, birthday parties, baby showers, any kind of celebration. And now they want to privatize that, folks. How do you feel about that? And there's 3 Black women on the city council, and they're ready to take that away from them. Although they act like they don't. But are they really serious about that? Oh, well, I want to make sure it goes back. Why take it in the first place? And we've seen what happens when they tell us something and they drag us along, and the end result, it was a lie. And will this be another lie? All right. And that's going to impact the Black community, because they love that JFK Marina, because that's their community there. And that's been a part of their community forever. Trevor Park. That's been a part of my community forever, because I would go there as well. It was only just a little bit down the street where I lived, or I grew up. And actually, I lived on Warburton for many years and hung around at the marina and hung around at School 25 behind there playing basketball. So I know the area, and it's going to be taken away. All that along Warburton, Woolworth is being all bought up. I mean, so we have an opportunity here, Latinos and even Blacks, to unite, get together, and be more vocal, have more power, more strength, and make more decisions, and what happens here, and impact what happens here. But it starts at the polls, and it starts by identifying who truly is here for the right reasons. And we need new candidates, new individuals that truly want to create change and that truly want to fight for the people and not themselves, not because they want to become attorneys in real estate and they currently are interning at some law firm in Manhattan, right? Or they want to have a job for life and put family members up. It's time for that to end. And we have to identify who these individuals are. And it's easy. It's the same recycled folks. So I'm Freddie Vasquez. Thank you for joining me. I hope, this message reaches people. I'm very sincere about this. I'm very, very sincere about this. It's time we make change. And Latinos, again, we have a unique opportunity here. Super, super, super unique. All the Latino business owners, right? All those working hard. All those in the community who feel shafted, who feel like we need more for the Latinos, for the kids, for the youth, for the teenagers here in the community. More programs, more services. I'm trying to set up my programming and stuff, shout out to those who have helped me. Hopefully I'm nearing the end, and we're going to be doing a big grand opening, and I expect the mayor to be there. That's right, Mayor Spano. I expect you to be there. All the hell I went through, you better be cutting that ribbon with me. I expect you to be there, and we're going to service a large part of the community, Latinos, blacks, and whites, because I love the mixture that we have in our kids, man. You got to see it's amazing. It's amazing. And we do some great things, Yonkers. All right? It's time for the people to win. All right? Freddie is for the people. When Freddie wins, the people win. When the people win, Freddie wins. Remember that. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Thank you for joining me, folks. I will see you tomorrow for my Sunday night podcast.
Freddie wins.
That's right.
Fatality.
And you sellouts is over for y'all guys. I ain't been helping the community. You're not out there with me. You didn't ask how you can help me. You're Latinos, Hispanics, and you blackballing another Hispanic and Latino. Why? Because they're telling you to. Your handlers are telling you to. Sellouts. Sellouts. I do it my way. I succeed my way. That's the difference.
Freddie wins.
Sellout. You sellout.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
That's right, folks. No love lost for the sellouts. If you have experienced what I have, then you would understand. They are the reason why an individual tried to assault me. They are the ones spreading the rumors. But it's all good, folks. We're going to get them out of here. Because Latinos, this is an opportunity for a change. You must identify who are in the community here just to take, and not give back. The sellouts, out for the money. That's it. Take your little awards. We're here to make a real change in the city. And we have a unique opportunity, Latinos. A unique opportunity. Why do you think they're trying to minimize it, right? They keep saying, oh, you're only like 30%. No, we're 42.3% and probably more. And we're nearing 50%. That's it. It's our time. It's time for the first Latino mayor in the city of Yonkers. First Hispanic mayor. It's time. And that person should be someone who's not connected, not the elites having brunch and dinner at Zoop does. Okay? Someone who truly cares for the community and cares for everyone. But it's time, folks. It's time. It's time. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Shout out to all my Puerto Ricans.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
I'm ready too, man. I'm ready too. I'm ready, baby. Let's go. That's right, baby. To all Latinos, let's do this. It's our year. It's our time. And this is no against anyone else. It's not. This is just, it's our time. We're almost 50% of the population. We need equal representation. And enough of the pandering. Enough of the riding coattails and sucking and jiving and shucking and jiving, I should say. Okay? We need the right leaders and the right representatives, strong leaders who are not compromised, who don't have past criminal records. That's who we need leading us, folks. Non-compromised individuals. Let's get it. I'm Freddie Vasquez. I'm excited about this, and I hope you are too. I'm so excited about this. I'm so serious. That's right. I love it, Yonkers. Let's go. And you can't shut me down. You try to shut my Freddie Vasquez page down, you suckers. That's why I need you guys who support to keep sharing. Share the podcast. They shut my page down. I had to show my license, and they still haven't put me back up. But you're not going to stop me. I will pay for a billboard like Anthony Moranti in front of City Hall. That's right. You're not going to stop me. All right? You're not going to blacklist me. Too many people supported me. Get with it or get ran over.
Freddie wins.
That's right.
Fatality.
I love you guys. Thank you. Love all of you guys. No, I'm not crazy. No, I ain't crazy. I'm crazy because I think I can do this. I think we can do this. And only someone who's crazy would believe that. And I truly believe it, folks. We're going to do it.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Yeah, if you're just joining me, I'm talking about the Latino vote. Hispanics, we have a unique opportunity here to really grab a hold of politics in the city of Yonkers. there 89,000 Hispanics, 42.3%. Think about that. We're nearing 50%. Our vote is big. They know this. We can take this. We need to represent ourselves much better because those who are now head in leadership roles, not the ones, compromised individuals, we got to get them out. We need new leaders, people who are fearless, who are ready to take on the status quo and represent us right. Represent us right and not sell out. That's right. So we have a unique opportunity.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
That's from beautiful baby. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for watching.
So folks, I'm going to keep talking about this. Right, Latinos? I need you to come out and vote. Register to vote. Register to vote. Register to vote. Right? Register to vote.
Ready.